Hey there, savvy home buyers and sellers. This is Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru, Mississauga real estate broker, and in today's episode, I'm going to go over 4 steps on how to win a bidding war. Not just win it, but actually get the house for the price that you want, not overpay, and feel happy at the end of the day. If you're buying a house anytime soon, you're not going to want to miss this video. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. I got to admit, I've been wanting to do this video for a long time now because nowhere out there is anybody talking with any sense of logic about how to navigate a market where prices are continuously going up, where there's not enough supply, and a lot of people are trying to buy the same house. So today I wanted to sit down and give you 4 tips based on what I do with my clients in order to get them that house. And hopefully it's gonna help you in your process because I wanna see you be happy at the end of the day. So tip number 1, you need to forget about the listing price. In a market where houses are selling for over asking price, a lot of times the price is not market value. It's actually priced below in order to get more interest, which in turn generates multiple offers because people try anyway. What I hate seeing is when we have someone who's set up and they can afford a great house, it comes on the market, and then all of a sudden the house in that bajillion-dollar neighborhood down the road where the agent listed it for 50% of market value, it pulls them off their track. So they run over to that house when a seasoned agent knows you're not gonna get that. That's not gonna sell for what it is. So I don't wanna see you get distracted. So it's really important, forget about price and always work on value. Tip number 2, you need to learn to do things in reverse of what everybody else is doing. So in this market, 95% of people are your typical consumer and they're trained to do things a certain way. That means number 1, they want to fall in love with the house. Number 2, they try and negotiate the price based off of emotion and what everybody else is saying. And a lot of times that can either lead them to never get a house or lead them to overpay for the house. And then finally, the last step is they figure out the details after. Go back to their bank, hopefully they get approved, hopefully the house is in good condition, and it just causes not a fun situation all the way around. But unfortunately, that's what 95% of people are out there are doing because they don't know better and they're not being guided properly. If you change the way you look at things, your results are gonna be different. Which leads me to how 5% of the population of buyers does it, and that is they think like investors. So number 1, they figure out the details before they start searching. That means understanding what they can afford and then narrowing down the neighborhoods that have the homes that they're looking for in their price range based off of hard data, which means recent sales. That also means if there's not been a lot of homes that have sold in the area, that means adjusting the past sales in order to bring them up to today's standard. It actually is a little bit of homework, but being able to narrow down your search ahead of time will pinpoint you into finding the right house. Then next, they actually negotiate the offer. And again, we're not negotiating based off of emotion. We're negotiating based off of all the information we know in step 1, which means, yes, you may win that bidding war and pay the most, but I'm gonna guarantee it's gonna be based off of hard numbers, which means there's not gonna be some ridiculous number coming out of nowhere that was based on well, what's the most comfortable you feel like paying for this house? Guys, if anybody said that to me as a buyer, I would just lose my stuff. Or I hate things like houses around here sell for 80 grand over asking. Asking price means nothing. They actually sell for market value. It's just when people start talking like that, they don't really know what market value is because they're not doing the work to determine it. And then finally, they love it. So after they figured out what they want, after they negotiated the price and feel good about it, then they can turn around and love their house. So that's the difference in the process. So step number 3, so it's actually determining what fair market value is for the home and then determining based on the factors such as how upgraded the home is, how much interest there is, and coming up with a reasonable offer that gives you a chance to win. Now, we do this a number of ways. So it's not just by looking at comparable sales because you can't always tell if that house is exactly the same or what's going on. So it's really based off a number of things. Number 1, it's based off of square footage assessments, tax assessments. It's combining those, taking out the pictures and the emotion and looking at the raw numbers. and then coming up with an average of what's going on. Then you need to determine, okay, on the low end of the range, these homes are selling for X amount, and then on the high range, they're selling for that amount. And then when you look at that house, you can use your logic to determine, okay, this house kind of falls in the high end of the range, or it needs a lot of work, it falls into the low end of the range. You see, by doing this based off of past sales prices and hard data, I'm not even looking at the asking price, okay? Because again, asking price means very little in a market where asking price is used as advertising ploy to get people into the home. When you know how to negotiate properly and determine price, it's gonna help you a long way. And step number 4, be prepared to come in with your strongest offer. And again, if we go back to following the process like an investor, you will be ready. So that means when you come in with your offer, you know your facts. You're coming in with a strong offer. You're not testing the market by throwing out prices, because if you're in competition, you're gonna get eliminated pretty quickly. You're also not putting unnecessary conditions in the offer. Now, let me be straight. I don't recommend anybody waive conditions that they shouldn't, but at the same time, if you understand where you're at, you understand the condition of the home, you understand, maybe you did a pre-inspection, you understand your financing, you understand the values, you should be in a position to make a strong offer, because in hot areas like Toronto and hot areas all over the GTA, I'm telling you, a lot of these offers are coming in firm. But the only way to truly do it is to do the homework ahead of time so you can feel comfortable doing it. Well, there you have it. I'm Jeff O'Leary. I gave you a lot of information very quickly on how to win a bidding war and how to navigate markets like this. Listen, if you have any questions about real estate, always feel free to call or email me. I'm Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. Have yourself a great day.